When it comes to sharing of brand experiences, Consumer Alert TV is here to give you a listening ear. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful episode of Share a Brand Experience on Consumer Alert TV. It is another Wednesday, and this is Share Your Brand Experience, where we talk about everything branding and also how brand has affected you in one way or the other. We don't only deal with negative stuffs on here, we want to hear the positive aspect of brands. This is Consumer Alert TV, and in case you don't know about Consumer Alert TV is a consumer advocacy digital channel where you can all watch us on your YouTube. Subscription is very, very free at Consumer Alert TV. We open every weekdays from 8 o'clock a.m. to 6 p.m. We give you news and beautiful, intelligent, educative programs apart from Share Your Brand Experience. But today, we'll be talking about consumer service in Nigeria, because we need to talk about these things that are prevailing in the country. It has become very frequent that we have issues from people talking about their experiences with customer service in Nigeria. And I witnessed one on Monday, that was the day before yesterday, at Allen Avenue here close to the office, and I would love to share the experience that I saw. It wasn't with me, but it was with somebody that I didn't know, but I was opportune to be on the spot. What happened that day was the fact that a lady was robbed at around Allen here on the road coming, and was a bike. I don't know, bikes have been banned in Nigeria, on the main road in Nigeria, so I don't know how the bike was allowed, but I feel like maybe because you have a bike, you're not taking any passenger, so you can actually move with a bag. So she was going with a bag on the, just like she was holding a bag like this. Yeah, you may say, doesn't you know this is Lagos State, why is she holding a bag and like that? But sometimes you may just tend to forget yourself easily. Nobody's above mistakes. They snatched the bag from her, so I was behind the lady, so we saw everything. Me, Jade, and one other person from the office were all going on that particular Monday evening. Was in the around 7:30 thereabout. So they snatched her bag and she ran after the person. So we ran after her also, just to understand what was going on. But she was very fast, with everything that was going on. So she was just shouting, my phone, my ATM card, my power bank, my this, my that. So we all followed her to the roundabout junction at Allen side. So when we got there, we waited with her, and I was like, sister, your phone is already like stolen. The first thing I would need you to do is block your SIM card and call your bank to actually block every access to your account, because you don't know, these people want to use your SIM card to be borrowing money, or even access your Gmail and every other thing to tamper with your documents. So because she said she didn't put password on our phone, so let's all endeavor to always put password on our phone, because we don't want issues like this happening to us. We called MTN. MTN was an service provider, so she doesn't have a phone, so I called MTN. Like 3 other people were calling MTN. It took us about 15 minutes to get connected with 303. That's MTN's, or 300, sorry. That's MTN's number. I called them twice. I don't know. They said, oh, they are referring. When you put one if you want English, put this and that. We already put all the numbers, and they were like, we are transferring you to a customer service representative that would respond to you. So they picked the call. It was dead silent. They were not saying anything. They were not doing anything. It's already time. It's already going. This is something like 30 minutes. We're trying to contact 303 MTN, and they are not providing anything. They're not even picking the call. Got so good, the call went through. So they picked it. The lady was like, she was shaking. So we're all talking like, I was like, good afternoon, good evening. So we lodged the complaint. We want to block our SIM, this and that, and this. The next thing the lady said was that she picked the call. Was that, oh, I am so sorry. My computer is frozen. I can't do anything about it. And I was like, why do you say you cannot do anything about it? In the first instance, if you knew that your computer was frozen, why in the first place did you pick the call? You could have let the phone kept on ringing, or immediately you had picked the call. You have said, my computer is frozen, please call another service provider, another service representative, customer service representative. I would answer you. Instead of you waiting for us to narrate all the story to you, for you just to say, oh yeah, your computer is already frozen. I'm like, okay. So she was like, hold on, I will do up something for like almost 10 minutes. She didn't respond. She cut the call. She asked us to hold on that. Oh, she would get on it, even though our network was freezed and stuff. I was like, okay, maybe it will come back up. She didn't give any explanation. She didn't say anything. She just hung up the call. So we kept on calling again for another almost 30 to 20 minutes. We kept on calling MTN service provider. My own point is that if they had wanted to do anything with the SIM or any other thing, they would have done it before we even were able to have access with MTN. They later picked the call. So when they picked the call, the lady explained the question. They were like, "Are you sure you're the owner of this SIM? I understand protocol, but there's some things that needs urgent attention. You understand? So they should be able to. We're going to do. They asked for our mother's maiden name. They were asking all sorts of questions. When did you open the SIM? When did you open the SIM? Where is the location? Which address? You know, I feel like if you ask two personal questions, I feel like only the person that owns the SIM would have known. You know, you would have been able to understand, or if you're able to track the call of where we are to where she's explaining that she's calling from. You know, these are things that we should put in place. Instead of you asking her thousands of numbers before you can be able to help her block a SIM. That day it took us more than 30 minutes for us to be able to block the SIM. In this what I'm talking about is almost 10 o'clock. We were still not able to block the SIM, and they've collected the vaccine like to 7 after 7. So it took us that much hour to be able to block the SIM, just an ordinary SIM. So they're not like, oh, you need to go to your bank to sort out your blocking and stuff like that. And it was just a lot of. I felt for the lady because number one, our phone is stolen. Number two, we don't know who these people are and how they can actually easily get our number and start calling people and every other thing. So those things, and there was not even when the complaint was lodged, you should be able to access almost all our contact lists and send a warning to them that if in case any number call you, because she asked them, can you help me, you know, this and that. They're like, no, they can't do that. In case any number call you for help, please know that this phone is already stolen and this SIM is already blocked. So those were the issues that we had that day. So my point exactly is that it took so much of time for MTN service provider to answer this particular lady. And it was a very, very sad situation, because if they had wanted to use a SIM for anything, they would have used it without us having any. Because how long would they take to put a SIM to any use, and then they would have collected money, and you understand, the money would have been gone, they would have tied it to this particular lady, and she'll be paying money that she doesn't even understand. There was a day that on, it was this scam alert. Somebody was like, they kidnapped them, they collected her phone, and then they used her SIM to borrow 2 million. So these are issues that we are facing in the country.
Absolutely. It is so sad. I feel so sorry for the lady who fall victim of that bad circumstance. It's such a bad circumstance, and you know, this is what happens in our country, where everything and anything goes, where there is not proper. We have all this policy, but they are not well implemented. That is the issue. We're talking about customer service. First, with this ordeal that you narrated, the story is quite pathetic, and it's so saddening that the lady lost her phone. But to the part, on the other hand, I'm so grateful that she didn't lose her life, because we've seen some situations whereby they would arm the victims and, you know, take all the victim belongings. So we have been grateful to God for that. If we are going to look at it from one aspect, customer care service is to render assistance to your consumer immediately. And if you look at all the policies behind bringing the legacy of consumer service, is behind of giving people attention, that it is safe in the time they need it. If we relate attention to okay, you and I, we are having this conversation. If I need your attention, maybe I want to relay a message to you. At that time, if you are like, I will see later, that time you were not giving me the attention. So it's so saddening that, you know, the people that we ought, they are meant to give us that support, that services, you know, at the time we need it, but they are not able due to one. And I know definitely, even when it comes to health issues, the front lines, I always say, you break protocols.
Yeah.
So even if you can do it for the sake that, oh, okay, this person is your customer, it's very urgent. So why can't you just break the protocol? Matter, we don't do this, but because this issue is very urgent, we'll see what we can do. We attend. You know, there are some languages whereby you give to your consumer, even if it's not going to settle the issue.
At least you put their mind at ease. Well, you could have it on other computers, or maybe you were working from home. I don't know where the person was working from, but you don't have the capacity to be able to help the person. You don't keep the person on the call for that long just for you to hang up the call without any explanation.
You know, this is sad. I can say again, sad. It is sad, sad, sad. I can say that over and over again. Now it's like, thank you so much for sharing that experience with us on Share Your Brand Experience, Kike. I pray we won't fall victim of that circumstance. But now it seems the customer service has forgotten the reason of they do not remember the policies behind customer service. So we would bring it out to them, so they can get on their toes. Just before we say it out, a lot of consumers too are fall victim of having issues with bank. You know, maybe you want to transfer money, you get the money transferred, or maybe the money they tell you is hanging in one hair. It's become a keyhole between two banks and all of that. You start going to banks, moving here and there. It's so saddened, but that is what we see on a frequent. So I would share my own experience. Of course, I've had such experience as well, whereby I did money, it hanged, wait 7, and you know, the policy of waiting for 7 working days, OMG, it's bad. I can let that to you. So, but yesterday, I wanted to do the transfer. So, you know, I was seated and my mom was just telling me that I shouldn't do the transfer. Because I don't want to, I will later mention the name of the bank, because my bank that I use, you know, it's quite, it rained.
When it rains in Nigeria.
It rained, you know, because the bank I use, oh my goodness, when it rains, if I don't do transfer, even after 3 days, that's the reason, because you have issues. Wow. So the worst you do is maybe you use your ATM card, or maybe you walk into the bank and all of that.
Explanations, or there is no explanation afterwards why you're having issues. There's no nothing to say, oh, please dear customer, do not do transaction at this time. There is nobody. Everybody is sitting down folding their hands. Imagine people that are using band A. You don't bring light for 2 days. There's no prior reason why there's no prior notice to your consumers to say, oh, for these 2 days, oh, we are doing some maintenance on this thing, that's why you don't have light. Why exactly am I on band A if I don't have light for 2 days and you're not giving me any reason or ample notice to when I'm going to have light? That's the gap between us, the consumers, and the manufacturers in Nigeria.
You know, so I can agree with you, and I would not agree less about what you just said, because when it comes to electricity, I don't know. Of course, they are doing a whole lot. We'll see what the minister is doing, trying to, with the president just approved the 4 billion naira, you know, to generate for steady electricity in the country. And we know that when electricity is very, very stable, of course, social amenities will improve and the state of things will improve in the country. But, you know, the issue whereby there will not be light for about 2-3 days, and that you just said, you trying to relate to the consumers, to your customers, that for the it's a means of customer service. You know, so my grandmother would tell me there are some words that are simple as ABC.
Yeah.
So you know, when it comes to customer service, there are some words that are very, very simple that you just get in touch with them, and whereby you would know that, oh, I've gotten a notice, so I wouldn't do this for. We should not expect this from this. So
2 days.
It should be done. So back to the conversation I was having. So I thought it was going to be a negative ordeal when it happened, but reverse was the case. Polaris proved me wrong this time around. So I did the first transaction, it went, you know, and there's something about it. If I'm trying something and my inner man is telling me not to do it, if I do it in one way or the other, I would have myself to be blamed. So the inner man in me told me to just take, I should take my breath that minute and maybe I should do it later. But I was like, I just have to do the transaction. I did it, and the recipient didn't get the money, and they didn't reverse the money to me. Wow. So it was around closing hours, but I had to go to, I had to contact the recipient. Did you get this money? He got the first amount, but the second one, he couldn't get it. Through. So, you know, lo and behold, I came to work today, and I went there. I got there, they gave me a form, and they were telling me that I would have to hold on for a good 48 hours, that I will get the money, that if I don't get the money within 48 hours, then I will have to come to the bank to refill some form and all of that. What? So the moment I said that, I was like, what is this? What is all this happening? But I had to just do what I had to do and just come back. Lo and behold, I was seated and I just got the alert. You know, I was quite surprised that.
What's going on here?
What's
We
going
love
on? You know,
that.
Polaris Bank proved me wrong because
Okay.
Polaris Bank when there is rain and all of that. I don't know what happened. I
It's
don't
not
know
only
maybe the
Polaris
system.
Bank, it's not
I don't know
Polaris
what
Bank.
happened to your system. Maybe you people have upgraded or with the help of AI. But Polaris Bank, when the brand is doing so well, we need to certify. And when they are not doing the other way they're meant to do, we are not criticizing them, but we just need to tell them that this is what the consumers are getting to say about you. I wish MTN, and I know MTN staff or the right top officers will be seeing this. We people need, there should be a whole lot of reform. I think we once have a conversation on customer service, and I said that I think you were the one who raised it, but I can't really place my hand on it anymore. Whereby we had an agreement on the program that I think a whole lot of reform should be done.
Yeah.
Whereby they need to tell people the reason why they are on that seat.
The
reason why they are occupying that seat
needs to be done to these people, because I don't think they have empathy towards the consumers.
Absolutely.
And empathy is supposed to be the first most thing. It's not like you being a doctor and you don't have empathy to your patient. What exactly are you doing in that field? It's not meant for you. If you know that you're not going to be empathetic towards your consumers, I feel like there's nothing for you. There's no reason for you to get a job as a customer care service provider, because it is so hurtful for you to act nonchalant to the grievance of your consumer. This is your customer, for crying out loud. No prior notice to the fact that you are going to hang up the particular call. You said it the first time your system was frozen. I feel like the next thing for you to have done was just tell please call another person, or you
reach out to your maybe colleagues and
I feel like
that.
even to call another person, you should know that it will take a lot of time. If it was something between life and death, you should be able to easily transfer that call to another person immediately at your own end. If that is not in your own back end, their back end, is something wrong. There's something wrong with the system then. If you cannot easily transfer, sometimes, imagine sometimes you'll be talking to bank or you're talking to customer service provider, anyone, your card will get finished. Do you know that when you call again, you're going to start from the beginning and start explaining from the beginning to another person entirely, which is not supposed to be so.
First of all, Kike, I'm very sorry on behalf of you, because you had to witness all of that, and I know the kind of mood you will be.
I wanted to finish everything. I made sure I stood there and I listened to everyone. I'm like, what is going on in this country?
I must commend you for your humanly for the humanity you always portray to people. So I understand how you would feel at that moment. But how I wish you could bring that lady to share her experience. But what it is.
And there's no way to contact, because I already blocked the number.
I know how womanly you are. So back to the conversation. So to what we're saying, I think, in fact, a lot needs to be done. A whole lot of reform needs to be done when it comes to customer service in terms of the telecommunications. Gone are the days whereby you will have issue, you will call instantly, they will pick up your call. Now you would have to call OMG, Kike, 10 minutes, 15 minutes,
30 minutes, 45 minutes. They're still singing,
singing a whole lot of it is so
reason?
pathetic, and a whole lot of it is hanging on the line.
Yes.
I think the customer service should now see to it that what is happening. I don't know the policy you're always having when you're having your AGMs, your annual general meeting, or whatever meeting you people have, but I think it's time to, have a round table, sit down, reform things, re-strategize, know what is happening, where did you all get it wrong? What were we doing right before that people had access to us? Because as it stands, consumers are no longer having access to all these people.
No.
Look at what happened.
Fine,
you later reach out to them. I knew that before you could reach out to them, it's going to be a whole mountain.
Kept on calling, and I said like 4 people were on the call. Just for, if they even pick one of us, at least we'll give it to the lady. 4 people were on the call. I was on the call. Somebody else was on the call. Jadesola was on the call. Another lady there was on the call. So we were all on the call at the same time, trying to call these people. And they were not picking. Even if they picked twice, and they were not talking, they were not saying anything. And when they later picked, they said that their whatever was frozen. Your computer is frozen. You now told the lady that she should give you a little bit of time, that you work on the computer, almost 10 minutes, or more than that. I don't even know. But it took a while for you just hung up. Like, she hung up the call. no prior notice to say, oh, please call another person or let me transfer it to another person. She just hung up the call. And the reason why she hung up, I'm like, what? So we had to restart the conversation. We had to start calling them again. And it took some time to get somebody else to talk. And the person, I wish I got the particular person's name to call the person out on her to say, okay, this is what you did. It was MTN, and she was like, oh, she uses MTN. So what is so hard
you know,
in you doing
this is 2025. We're not in 1995. We're not in 2005. Sorry, this is not to write off the people that were born in those years, but just to let it know that, you know, there are advancement and improvement. And we are not going to say that all these people are not improved. You know, with the use of AI, a whole lot of reforms are there. But I think the issue now is those people behind the system. That is the issue.
Exactly, because sometimes the manufacturers may not even know what the people behind the system are doing.
Absolutely.
But I just feel like you also need to check and balance your staffs.
It's well
The
needed.
reason why you are telling me that this conversation might be recorded, I believe is for the purpose of you cross-checking what I've said, and you also checking and balancing your staffs to know how your staffs are behaving towards the customers. I always say before that customers also have their own issues, which is very, very true. But sometimes you don't need to you don't need to be at loggerheads with a customer. If they are talking and you don't like it, tell them to have a lovely day, this and that. Hang up the call. If your boss comes around, you play it, oh, this person was cursing my family.
The
and
conversation log.
Yes, you have the right to hang up that call. To hang up the call, rather.
You know, I said it earlier on, I don't like situations like this because I don't love to see people in such situations, because I don't pray to fall victim of such situations as well. But it is what it is, because this is what most people in diaspora see, and they used to label Nigeria that we are not improving, there is no improvement. And we have all these policies, we have all this reform. But am I going to say a lot of people are nonchalant, or they don't know their onions when it comes to discharge their duty to consumers? So that is why we're here, to let people know what consumer service is. I think people they've totally forgot. They don't have the idea. They don't know the reason why they are seated, or they don't know the reason why they are being paid at the end of the month. So we need to bring this on board. Customer service is about providing services and assistance to customers before, during, and after they purchase a product or service. Of course, you have a right. Yes, and you know that in one way or the other, we're referring it to right. Our right has been trampled.
Very, very trampled.
Our right to be heard, because she was not heard.
She wasn't. It took a while for them to be able to solve our issue.
I mean, that's quite sad. So to let it know how, you must listen to customers, to consumers. It is well needed. Understand their concerns, questions, and feedback. Feedback is very, very important. This lady, she understands the concern, but the feedback is poor.
Very, very poor.
It's poor, and we know this particular telecommunications can do better. And we are not even referring to them alone. You know you are offering a product that has to do with consumer. Please, something we need to take very, very premium and up to fit is consumers' satisfaction. Because in one way or the other, if that lady finds, she might retrieve her SIM and all of that, but at that moment she would never forget. Exactly. If there is somebody beside her that wants to buy MTN, she'll be like, you better don't buy MTN. If not, because maybe I've been using it, people know it with me. That's why I went to, because of the experience. And you know, giving bad
words of mouth is a very, very strong thing. If you don't know, one of your consumers doesn't mean that you cannot lose a lot of consumers. Through one consumer, if the person has the right channel, like Consumer Alert TV, you are likely to lose a lot of things, because you are shooting yourself in the leg. You are not empathetic. You don't even care. If it was you in that position of the lady, that I'm very, very sure you would have done worse than the lady. You may have picked up your phone and start calling out MTN on Instagram or on TikTok.
All right. One of the reasons why customer service is there is for providing solutions. Often helpful and timely assistance to resolve issues. It's so sad that this experience is just narrated on the program. The lady did not get the solution, the accurate time she needed the help. being empathetic is very, very important.
Very,
Because
very
the way you
important.
said the lady sounded,
Yeah.
she was not, she was, no, not empathetic. So showing understanding and care for the consumer experience is very, very, then being proactive, anticipate and prevent problems when possible. That was what you said earlier on, that, she might just, okay, hold on, let me check the system, how I can be of
Yeah,
help
or you
and all of
transfer
that.
the call from your own end. I don't know why we. The problem that I have exactly is that why do we have to always drop the call with you to call another customer service and still wait for that agonizing hour of me hearing you singing or you advertising your product to my ear when I need a solution at like immediate, like ASAP? Why can't you just transfer me from your own desk to another person's desk? They should be able to have that interlink. So I don't know what's going on there. That is a very huge gap.
Absolutely, they have the interlink. Like I said, we cannot say there is no reform, there is no policy. There, of course, there are rules and there are code and conduct guiding them. But some people just, and most of the times, we blame the government for not doing the right thing. Whereby in the city you are occupying the government.
Yeah, you are a government.
You are a government on your own. In that way, you've you've misled, the people within your jurisdiction. So that is quite sad. And most of the time we blame the government. How do you manage your seat? How do you manage your
position, your parts?
So it's very, very important. So, I can say that when there is customer service, a very good premium, unbreakable customer service, there is always trust. You are loyal to the brand, there is satisfaction, ultimately driving business success. And it's about creating a positive experience that make customer feel valued and appreciated. It's so sad that this lady in question, the full victim of what happened on Monday, was not well appreciated.
At all.
And now we have to talk about what happens when there is no good customer service. This can lead to a whole lot of chaos. Yeah, I can say it again, over and over again. In fact, I can jump to the moon and say, definitely it's going to be a chaos, because this lady, she would never forget this experience. And she will always narrate it, definitely. Customer dissatisfaction, yes. Unhappy customers may feel ignored, frustrated, or disrespected.
Very disrespectful. What she did was, I felt disrespected. And I wasn't the customer, but I'm a customer of MTN, because I use MTN service provider too. But I felt really disrespected for you to just hang up the call on me, because even if I'm not paying for a service from you, and you hung up the call, it's a very, very disrespectful thing for me. I can't hang up a call on somebody.
That's a sign of being rude.
Sign of totally being rude. So imagine me paying you money. I am. You were even asking the lady that how much did you put in your card today?
I mean, can you see
what kind of a question is that? Like, what is relevant? What's the relevance of that to her wanting to block her SIM? You already asked her mother's maiden name. I feel like 2 questions is enough. You're already asking her thousands of questions before she can even answer you. They've already stolen whatever they want to steal. I want you to block my number. Okay, what is your name? Your full name? What is your mother's maiden name? You are still asking her, did you recharge today? How much did you recharge today? What is the address of where you opened the SIM? What year? How am I supposed to listen to the year? How am I supposed to remember the year that I opened the MTN? So if I'm supposed to block my number, I'm supposed to tell you every of these details. When I'm actually very, very frustrated, I cannot even remember a lot of things. When I'm under pressure myself.
In midst of pressing issues.
So these are the issues that we need to focus on. So why exactly do we need thousands of questions to be explained before we're able to render help to our consumers? So we need to ask these questions with these people.
I think because of issues like this, that is why our own executive director and chairman came with this initiative, because he himself have experienced stuff like this. He has seen people being maltreated when it comes to their rights, and all of that. And that is why Consumer Alert TV is here, because we'll keep emphasizing, and we will not back out until the truth is being done, and onto consumers, onto manufacturers, organizations, industry do the right thing to
sorry.
Thank you so much. Until they do the right thing. So, no good customer service definitely can lead to a negative review. We are reviewing this right now. It's a negative, it's not a positive review. I started an example earlier on talking about my bank. I've always had negative. But when did the positive? So,
If you talk about it,
people would always say, I know, but if we know people will always say, but you as a manufacturer, as a producer, if you are bent on, let them say, then you're not ready to make results. You're not ready to make profits. You're not ready to win the hearts of the consumers. Lost business. The certified consumers make their business elsewhere, resulting in lost sales and revenue. I said it earlier on that lady, she might want to retrieve the thing because, it's registered, people knows with that thing and with the number. But if somebody maybe that just want to start, don't do the ATM,
God.
So in one way or the other, you've lost a consumer there. Then damage to brand reputation. Consistently poor customer service can harm a company's brand and image. Do you know that it takes a whole lot of process before a company is registered in Nigeria? It's we're not talking about thousands. We're not even talking about millions here as it stands. Because the CAC, the whole lot of registration in process, going back and forth. So how will you now be well branded and want your reputation, and you won't think about your reputation? I think this is where the stage. Politicians and most of our celebrities, they think about the reputation a lot. That is why if they want to take a step, they have to think it. So we, as a brand owner, we must know that our reputation is at stake. So we know that definitely you are not the one attending to those people, but you must always see to this thing. Have an eagle eye.
Yeah, and an overview of whatever you are doing.
Overview, have an overview and just put someone to check in charge what is happening here. And most of the time, just go out, delegate some people to go out to know what the consumers are saying about your brand. That is where you will know the actual feedback. And also, we also have the decreased customer loyalty. Of course, when you have a good customer service, there is loyalty. A lot of people will be so loyal to your brand. We've seen cases whereby a lot of people say, I've been using this brand for 20 years.
I wanted to even mention that. Why do you think some people have the reputation of more than 50, 70 years? Because they've been good, they've been loyal, they've been amazing, they've been very empathetic towards their consumers. They've taken their consumers' actions very, very dear to their heart. That is why the consumers are sticking to them 25. And it has become a generational thing. My mother used this, I'm using it, my children are going to use it because of how beautiful the relationship they build with their own consumers. Not to talk of people that you don't even care about your consumers' need, don't even care about whatever they are telling you as of that moment. You just want to do whatever you want to because you think you've already collected their money. What else am I going to collect from you? 10 naira is a lot of money. No, whether it is 10 naira that we are paying for SIM or for service provider in Nigeria, it is still a lot of money to some people. So please, let's do better.
I mean, in today's digital age, poor customer service can spread quickly, and definitely it would spoil and also amplify the negative impact of your brand. And excellent customer service, of course, can be powerful differentiator driving consumer loyalty and growth. On this note, we have to, draw the curtain on today's program. We apologize, and I feel the pains of the lady who fell victim of what happened. And to all the brand owners, the industry, please, we can all do better. I know that all hands are on the desk. Our hands are fixed in so many places, but we can delegate people. Check what is happening in this department. Check what is happening here. In that way, we're trying to foresee what is happening and to overlook and overview the situation of things right there. Thank you so much for joining us on the conversation. Another beautiful segment of Share Your Brand Experience. We'll be back again next week Wednesday. I'm always happy. Thank you so much, Kike, for bringing this experience on board.
Oh my God, since on Monday, I've been waiting for Share Your Brand Experience.
I know you that when it comes to gist, you are always on.
I need to spill the tea.
Yeah, of course, and it's well spilled, and we said a whole lot of the analysis has been made, and I know consumers have gotten to learn. Thank you so much, Nigeria. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining us.